Why is it so hard to move on after a breakup? This video explores the science behind why we obsess over exes. Breakups aren't just emotionally painful, they trigger biological reactions in our brains, similar to physical pain and addiction withdrawal. Research using brain imaging techniques has shown that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. When we're rejected by someone we love, our brain reacts as if we're experiencing actual physical injury. Romantic relationships activate the brain's reward system, flooding it with dopamine and other neurotransmitters. When a relationship ends, this chemical reward is cut off, leading to withdrawal-like symptoms similar to drug addiction. This explains why we obsessively think about our ex-partners and feel compelled to contact them. Like other significant losses, breakups trigger a grief response. Most people experience some version of the stages of grief, moving through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and eventually acceptance. Understanding this process can help normalize your experience and provide a roadmap for healing. Our early experiences in relationships form attachment patterns that influence how we respond to separations. Research shows that individuals with different attachment styles, secure, anxious, or avoidant, tend to process breakups differently. These patterns impact the intensity and duration of post-breakup distress. Current research provides insights into the breakup recovery timeline. While emotional recovery typically begins within 3 months, complete attachment dissolution may take years. Most intense distress dissipates within 5 years, though recovery is influenced by relationship length, quality, and individual differences. Research consistently shows that social support speeds emotional healing. Understanding the biological and psychological processes behind breakups can help normalize your experience and inform healthier coping strategies. As we continue, we'll explore these factors in more depth and provide science-backed approaches to healing. Attachment theory explains how early relationships with caregivers shape your adult relationship patterns. Your attachment style, secure, anxious, or avoidant, plays a crucial role in how you experience and process breakups. There are 4 main attachment styles that influence how we connect with others and react to relationship challenges. These styles developed in childhood, but continue to affect our adult relationships in profound ways. Securely attached individuals tend to cope better with breakups. They can process emotions healthily, seek support when needed, and eventually move forward with minimal baggage. They're able to grieve the relationship while maintaining self-worth, and they can learn from the experience without dwelling on it. Those with anxious attachment often struggle intensely during breakups. They may obsess over what went wrong, repeatedly reach out to their ex, and experience profound anxiety and self-doubt. The need for closure and certainty can lead to prolonged distress and difficulty moving on, as they tend to idealize the lost relationship. Avoidant individuals might appear to move on quickly after a breakup, but often they're suppressing emotions rather than processing them. They might distract themselves with work, new relationships, or other activities, but this can prevent genuine healing and lead to unresolved feelings that surface in future relationships. Understanding your attachment style is the first step toward healthier relationship patterns. Let's look at a simple assessment example. This quiz helps identify your dominant attachment pattern by assessing your comfort with intimacy, independence, trust, and emotional expression. Once you understand your attachment style, you can begin to work with it more consciously, especially during difficult experiences like breakups. With self-awareness, professional support, and practice, you can develop more secure attachment patterns and transform how you experience relationship transitions. By understanding how your attachment style influences your response to breakups, you gain valuable insight that can help you navigate the emotional journey ahead. The evolutionary roots of heartbreak. Believe it or not, breakups trigger ancient survival instincts deeply rooted in our evolutionary past. Our ancestors relied heavily on partnerships for survival in harsh prehistoric environments. These partnerships were crucial for sharing resources like food and shelter, providing protection from predators, and ensuring reproductive success. When we experience a breakup, our brain responds in remarkable ways. Research shows that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Losing a romantic partner activates our biological stress response system, triggering a cascade of hormones, including cortisol. This evolutionary response leads to distinct emotional states that each served specific survival functions. Our response to breakups is controlled by different layers of our brain, each evolved during different periods of our evolutionary history. The survival brain initiates fight or flight responses. The limbic system processes emotional pain, while the thinking brain tries to make sense of what happened. Understanding the evolutionary roots of heartbreak can help you contextualize your emotional response. Your pain has deep biological roots, with emotional responses that once served important survival functions. This evolutionary context can help normalize your feelings as you recognize that modern relationship patterns build on ancient attachment systems. Grief is a natural response to loss, and breakups can trigger profound grief reactions similar to those experienced after other major losses. Like other forms of grief, breakup grief often follows recognizable stages, including denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. However, these stages aren't linear. You might move back and forth between them. Breakups can significantly diminish what psychologists call self-concept clarity, your understanding of who you are. Self-concept consists of three components: your self-esteem, your self-image, and your ideal self. When relationships end, we don't just lose a partner, we often lose part of our identity. This can include shared future plans, social connections, daily routines, and even aspects of our values that were tied to the relationship. People with anxious attachment styles often experience more severe self-concept disruption after breakups. Their sense of self may be more deeply intertwined with their relationships, making the loss of identity particularly distressing. Rebuilding your identity after a breakup involves reconnecting with who you were before the relationship, exploring new interests, strengthening your individual values, rebuilding social connections, and practicing self-reflection. Remember that reclaiming your identity after a breakup is a journey, not a destination. With time and self-compassion, your sense of self will emerge stronger and more resilient. Going through a breakup means navigating a series of emotional stages. Understanding these stages can help normalize your experience and track your healing progress. Researchers have identified several models to describe the emotional journey after a breakup. Let's look at two common frameworks. The basic model includes three main stages: protest, sadness, and despair, and finally, reorganization or detachment. A more detailed model includes emotional whiplash, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. This model borrows from Kubler-Ross's stages of grief. The Kubler-Ross grief model is often applied to breakups. It identifies 5 key stages that people typically experience. The first stage is denial. You might minimize the breakup's impact or convince yourself it's temporary. The second stage is anger, where feelings of betrayal, blame, and resentment surface. In the bargaining stage, you might ruminate on what went wrong and how you could have prevented the breakup. The depression stage brings deep sadness, sometimes hopelessness, and often social withdrawal. Finally, acceptance comes when you find peace with the situation and begin rebuilding your life. This graph shows how the emotional journey after a breakup typically progresses. It's not a straight line. There are ups and downs, but overall, healing does come with time. Understanding these stages helps you normalize your emotions, recognize your progress, have patience with your healing journey, and seek appropriate support when needed. As you move through these stages, remember that healing isn't always linear. You may revisit certain stages, everyone's timeline is different, and professional help can be invaluable during this process. After a breakup, how we cope makes a significant difference in our healing journey. Let's explore healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms. The way we respond to heartbreak has neurological impacts and can either promote healing or prolong suffering. Coping mechanisms can be broadly categorized as healthy or unhealthy. While healthy approaches foster recovery, unhealthy ones often mask pain temporarily but ultimately delay healing. Let's first look at unhealthy coping mechanisms that can hinder recovery. Substance abuse temporarily numbs pain but creates additional problems. Rumination and obsessively checking an ex's social media prolongs attachment. Jumping into rebound relationships delays processing emotions. Social isolation removes valuable support systems. And self-destructive behaviors can create lasting damage. It's important to recognize warning signs of concerning behaviors. If you or someone you know exhibits these signs, seek professional help. Now, let's explore healthy coping mechanisms that promote healing. Seeking social support from friends, family, or therapists provides perspective and comfort. Physical activity releases endorphins and improves mood. Mindfulness and meditation help manage painful thoughts. Creative expression offers emotional outlets, and practicing self-compassion counteracts self-criticism that often follows breakups. Let's explore some practical tools for healthy coping after a breakup. Group therapy can be particularly effective as it provides shared experiences and reduces isolation. Simple daily self-care activities, even just 5 minutes long, can build resilience and promote healing. Here are additional strategies to incorporate into your healing journey. Practice emotional awareness by acknowledging feelings without judgment. Set small, achievable goals to build confidence. Establish new routines to create structure. Journal about your feelings and progress. And reconnect with personal interests and hobbies you may have neglected during your relationship. The key to effective coping is finding balance. Allow yourself to feel emotions while taking active steps toward healing. Adapt strategies to your personal needs and be patient with your progress. Often, combining multiple healthy approaches works best. And remember, seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. In the next section, we'll explore how setting boundaries and limiting contact with your ex can further support your healing process. Setting boundaries and limiting contact are crucial steps in the healing process after a breakup. Healthy boundaries protect your emotional well-being and create the necessary space for healing. There are several types of boundaries to consider after a breakup. Physical boundaries help you avoid unnecessary encounters and create new routines separate from your ex. Digital boundaries are especially important in today's connected world. Emotional boundaries protect your feelings and set clear expectations about your interactions. Social media boundaries are particularly challenging but essential for healing. Implementing boundaries requires clear communication and consistent enforcement. You may face certain challenges when setting boundaries, especially in shared social circles. While enforcing boundaries, focus on recovery strategies that help you move forward. Setting boundaries provides numerous benefits for your emotional healing process. How long does it take to fully recover from a breakup? This question has been examined from both emotional and neurological perspectives. Research indicates it can take a significant amount of time to fully relinquish attachment to a former partner. One study suggests an average of 8 years. However, there's an important distinction between complete detachment and feeling better. Most emotional distress dissipates within 5 years. And more encouragingly, depressive symptoms related to breakups often show significant improvement within just 3 months. Several key factors influence how long it takes to recover from a breakup. Attachment style is one of the most significant. Individuals with secure attachment typically recover more quickly, while those with anxious attachment often experience prolonged distress. Continued contact with an ex-partner often extends the recovery timeline considerably. Other important factors include the length and intensity of the relationship, the circumstances surrounding the breakup, and the quality of your support system. It's important to understand that breakups can trigger symptoms similar to depression. While feeling sad is normal, clinical depression may require professional support. The healing journey after a breakup follows a predictable path, though the timing varies for each person. Within the first 3 months, many people experience significant improvement in their initial acute symptoms. By 6 months to 1 year, most people have worked through significant emotional healing. The 1 to 2 year mark often involves developing a new identity separate from the relationship. Between 2 and 5 years, major emotional attachments typically fade, even if memories remain. And finally, between 5 and 8 years, complete emotional detachment becomes possible for most people. It's important to remember that each person's healing journey is unique. While these timelines offer general guidance, your individual experience may vary. Breakups can be a catalyst for profound personal growth and self-discovery. More people are recognizing the value of therapy after a breakup. Professional support provides guidance through complex emotions and tools to reframe negative thought patterns. Self-care is essential during breakup recovery. Simple activities like mindfulness exercises, creative expression, and setting new goals can significantly improve emotional well-being. A breakup can become a catalyst for profound personal growth. This journey often involves rediscovering your individual identity and developing emotional resilience that strengthens future relationships. Many practical tools can support your healing journey. Guided meditation helps calm the mind. Therapeutic writing enables emotional processing, and support groups provide community understanding. As you embrace this journey forward, remember that each breakup becomes an opportunity for profound personal growth. With self-compassion and appropriate support, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for healthier connections in the future.